doing, it's our last week of Unit 1, and we're doing the information, the expository assessment questions. We need to really talk about if birds' nests, are we going to change it?
I don't think we ever found that.
She found it.
Oh, did we?
There's a link to it. If we use it, though, we need to. Sorry, this keeps going.
What about,
If we wanted to level it for our kids, because, it's really complex for our students.
Yes, it is. I think that going back to expository text and talking about using pictures to answer questions, because they're already, and I'm like, as they read, and of course they're focusing on the words more, they're already forgetting the picture. And one of the questions in the assessment is, in the first photograph, how does the bird use its beak? So kind of, we introduced the types of expository text, but then next week going more in depth in like how you read expository text and how you answer expository text. Because we touched on it, but we didn't really like.
Yeah, we did a lot of questioning, but we weren't really talking about strategies for them if they're answering a question.
Right.
Just
And how expository text is going to be different. If the question says in the first picture, you've got to go back into the text. Yeah, and I think, and I didn't do it earlier in the week when we did expository text, but starting on Monday, making a huge magnifying glass and doing evidence and talking about evidence.
Ones, and we used them to actually look for our answer in the text.
Right.
And you guys can borrow those. I have a whole class set.
And I have some somewhere. I'll look for mine.
We had a whole bunch last year.
Yeah.
The blue ones.
So
The little plastic
Monday,
ones.
doing introducing evidence. And when you're asked a question about expository text, you have to go back in the text and find evidence to support your answer.
Mrs. Tucker has a cute bulletin board. You were saying about the magnifying glass, if you wanted to use it at the sample.
Okay, perfect. Yes, perfect. Yes.
Say what you, sorry, I haven't gotten it. I'm trying to make the table to type this in. Say what you just said about Monday.
Introducing evidence, doing a cute mini lesson on the magnifying glass and how good readers, when they read expository text and they're answering a question, they go back into the text and look for the answer. On Monday, we can just focus on going back and looking at the pictures to help you answer questions. And looking at the pictures.
So Monday we're focused on the pictures to answer questions.
No, Monday is introducing evidence.
Tuesday.
Tuesday, looking at the pictures to answer questions. What does that say?
So then Wednesday we want to focus on the words.
Yeah, yes, Tuesday, then going back and rereading the text and finding evidence. Wednesday, I think we should talk about, or maybe this should be Tuesday and push back, context clues and how to figure out the word's meaning you don't know. And using your background knowledge and schema, if you don't know that word, but it sounds familiar, or you can put another word in there that makes sense. Because in one of the questions it says, what does the word several years mean in the following sentences from the story? Listen carefully. Most birds build a nest each year. Some use the same nest for several years, but clean the nest a little each year. And how to just describe the meaning of a word.
So are we using this text or are we using a different text?
I say, I don't know,
I mean, I think
we can.
it would be easier to use this text and level it than it would be to get a whole new text and have to adjust the questions.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think
Keep
it's so,
several
because
in there.
the picture's good, isn't it too? It's,
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Let me see if I can get it pulled up.
Do we, so, okay,
Monday, we're introducing evidence,
magnifying glass.
right?
Tuesday, we're
Pictures to answer questions. Wednesday, going back and rereading the text and teaching them how to you don't have to reread the whole text if it's just talking about nests. Only this part talks about nests, so we only need to reread this part unless we can't find the answer.
But I think you need to back it up to how to read the question.
Right.
Because if the question said about the nests, then, they have to,
Mhm.
what does it want to know about the nests or whatever?
So Tuesday, should we do how to read the question and then?
Maybe do that with the picture.
Okay.
Because I think they could do both.
Right.
Because it's something that, this is a question about the picture, then this is a question about using the text or using the words as you
Right.
write it down.
And we've been talking about question words,
Mhm.
but
But it's not just who, it's who
Right.
did what,
right.
so it's more specific.
Yep. And then, so just incorporating how to read the question. And how does that let us know that we need to look in the picture? Because it says in the first photograph.
Mhm.
And
Maybe
then,
using the magnifying with the question,
Yeah.
then
Okay, yeah.
taking that to tie it together.
mhm, that would be good. Then Wednesday's how to do it in words.
Wednesday, focus on rereading the text and finding evidence and using context clues
Yes,
to determine unknown words.
that's Thursday. Unknown words is Thursday.
Oh, unknown words is Thursday, okay.
And then Friday is the assessment. So we need to, if Friday is the assessment, then we need to pick another text for earlier in the week.
That's what I was asking,
Yeah.
because I didn't know if we didn't want to read the whole.
Right.
Tell me what part that is again.
It is part 3.
So we're looking for something on birds?
Yeah, we can do.
We could to build their background knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Very good
Finally
connection.
found it, here's bird nests
Yeah, it's really high.
for kids.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's got 2 good pictures. I feel like these would actually print well, even if, that one might not. That one in black and white would still print well.
I wonder if you could lighten that before you print it.
This?
Mhm. The nest.
I've got some pictures of a baby bird's nest that we found, that's like pictures of me feeding the baby birds and like opening their mouth, they're like really ugly.
Mm-hmm.
I'll look for those and see if I can find them.
That would
We
be
could
cool
just write one
to
on.
tie it through.
Yeah. You can just write it to, write it.
That would be start to say write it up.
Oh, really?
That was just to show them that, like, but,
Well, if we can.
yeah, this guy come and cut down some trees in our yard.
And if the layout's similar to that, because I did talk about a magazine, last week, you read a magazine in columns and it's different than reading a book where you turn the page. Each time you read it up and down.
Yeah.
The thing is, if you did write it, I mean, you guys could write it together, but you could say, this is Mrs. Potts' journal or diary or something, and it could be a different type of expository text.
Yeah.
So you could draw that connection to the birds, but you could also.
With what we did 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we could add it to our anchor chart.
What was the password for the reading aid?
I'll say.
It was WOOJ something. I just saved it on my laptop, but
I need that login too.
can I use?
Cha-cha.
I'll have to get up.
Now that I added all these gigs of data, let me sign up for my own hotspot here. I am so smart, look at me.
Yeah, I'm trying to limit it down.
So we expository text, I don't have it, I'll have to look it up.
Okay.
Either find it or write it. We have the outline.
Mm-hmm.
For next week, writing, we're gonna talk about writing assessments, we're gonna talk about, post-assessment, math.
Yep, writing, I've got that, writing assessment recorded. We could also do our foundations checkup, that could be something we just do every week.
Oh, yeah, we need to talk about that. So, what are we gonna do?
Well, if you're on day 2, we've got 3 more days until the post-assessment. So,
Are you all on day 2?
no, we're ahead of her, because she's got, because of how specials is,
I lose a day every week, and we just realized that. But you know what I can do? Is on Mondays that I don't have foundations, or that I don't have specials, I could do 2 days in one.
Do you do science on Tuesdays when you do special, when you have to go?
So I could just do foundations and stuff.
Yeah, I'd rather you do foundations and then do some double science on Monday. You know, as special. Just because I think the foundations needs to be every day,
Yeah.
whereas they could get more science content in Monday.
mm-hmm.
Or social studies, that block. I'd rather cut that out.
And I think like the second week of school, I just literally forgot to do foundations. Just.
Oh, what, this year?
I think the second week of school. I don't know why. I just came in and started doing TDR right away, and then I stopped and was like,
So how far behind are you?
Well, we are, I feel like we're a little bit ahead of, aren't we ahead? It was 2 weeks of Unit 1,
3 weeks.
and we went through it more quickly, didn't we? Because we started the first week of school, but like the first 2 days I didn't get into foundations, it was just orientation, and then we got into it. But what we can do since,
because I think,
develop science on the needs.
because I didn't start till Wednesday of the first week of school.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So, no, I am. If Unit 1 is 3 weeks, the second week of school, the third week of school, and then,
This is.
I should- yeah, I should be halfway through the 4th week of school giving the assessment.
Yeah, you're on target, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying, like,
Okay.
we jumped ahead.
So you're
That's what I'm trying
ahead
to
of
say.
target.
Yes,
I was gonna say, because you sound like,
because I thought we had talked about going quickly through
Yeah,
the
we
first
never
one
made
since it
like
was
a
reviewed.
definite decision,
Right.
like we're gonna do instead of like 2 letters a day or 3 letters we're gonna do, so I just did it regular.
So what we can do, since you're on target, is we can do the post-assessment for Unit 1 when you guys do it.
or you could do it and then see who's struggling and
Mhm.
spend a little more time reviewing whole group for the strugglers so that they catch up to where you are.
Sounds good. Thoughts?
I'd rather go ahead and do it and see where your gaps are.
How did they do?
Rather than you get
Lots.
to the end and then you say, oh, well, I had 6 kids with
Everybody-
gaps anyway.
Everybody did well except for one student.
Much for that theory.
It's the same student that
Struggles about the same.
This one.
Zakai's as bad as he is though. But I think Zakai just copied his foundations sticker and stuff.
I wish we could get test things.
What if you used
Yeah.
file folder, not file folders, file folders?
I did that, it took so, I mean, I will do it again this year if I have to, but it takes
takes
so
so
long putting up those folders and then they
What
push them
about-
But
down.
if you teach them that, you take out your folder, you set it up, you take your thing, you're done. I mean.
Yeah, but I
I
also,
guess also
I didn't look
poster,
at the thing.
not poster board, but the like science boards in
Mhm,
the book room. Do we have a lot of those?
I don't know, we can look.
Like, could we cut them in half and use those as
Sure.
like privacy
That's what I was
features?
thinking.
Because I saw them in there yesterday, I just don't
Okay.
know what they're for. Like, if you have a purpose for them.
Well, at the end of the meeting, let's go look where they are and see how many there are.
Tomorrow we also need to,
Because we could cut them in half, we don't need.
or
them that tall.
Thursday,
Mm-hmm. I mean,
edit
really
the
this tall, and it's
assessment
just,
and
yeah.
copies.
You know, you could might even do 3 or 4 hours. 2 up? I just said let's raise that.
I'm sorry, we're talking about time.
No, we're just, I said this week we'll have to edit the assessment and make copies.
And that's something we can do on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been using the Rosette for all of ours. Wait, what was it? There's a couple of fiction narrative bird stories, 3 different levels.
Where on A to Z?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, what's the password?
An
I don't know,
expository
it was just
though.
already in there.
I need it.
That's
I
why I
I need it.
That's why I said I knew it was on here, so I turned on a hotspot, but I don't know, like, because it's just there and it shows up as the dots. I'm gonna
We need
check
expository though.
ReadWorks. There was one, but they're kinda high, like
Mine's
they're.
frozen. I was gonna look it up for you.
I'll ask you about it later. Okay, so we'll edit the assessments tomorrow on Thursday. We can officially start Foundations Unit 2 next Monday, so we'll all be together.
Yes.
And in the meantime,
Well, I'll just do some review.
yeah, we can do review and just front loading too.
We need to work
Just
on our
reading
handwriting.
Front loading. I can never remember that word.
Front loading?
Ever.
I don't know why I remembered it now.
I was talking to Christy and I was like, oh, I was like, my CF always says it. It's like when you're building the background knowledge or you're like, and she's, I have no idea what your CF says. I was like, she always says it. I never remember that word, ever.
Sorry.
Ever.
Scaffolding?
If Unit 2, if we're gonna begin it this upcoming Monday, is it too soon for us to go over Unit 1 assessment to the next PLC to have all of our scores ready? Because I know we'll also
I
have.
can help you grade yours if you want to.
That's fine.
Okay,
We'll all have them. We can do it Monday afternoon.
Assessment. All right,
It
anything
sounds like
else?
it won't be a long conversation.